Hello, everybody, and welcome to Promo Perspectives. My name is Nicole Cook, and I'm your host for today. I'm joined today by David Miller of NC Customs to talk to us today about a very enticing, delicious topic, and that is food in promotions. And I want to talk about this area of promotions and just talk more about how David and his team have gotten into it, how distributors can get a part of it and go from there. So, David, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, Nicole, thanks so much for the opportunity to speak with you and your audience. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Awesome. So, to kick us off, tell me about who are you to NC Customs and how did you guys get into this world of food and promo?
Very good, thank you. So my parents started the Chocolate Inn probably about 40 years ago. Chocolate Inn was a chocolate manufacturer that focused on selling different types of chocolate shapes, different types of chocolate fillings to the retail market. My father happened to be fraternity brothers with Bob Lederer, who was the original owner of Prime Resources. And one day they had a conversation about the promo channel. My father started offering, and my mother started offering food, chocolate specifically, into the promo channel, found that it was very well received. And slowly but surely, they started pushing a lot of their capacity to the promo channel. And we started offering different types of chocolate shapes into, that had different logos on them and so forth, into the promo channel. I joined the business probably about 25 years ago. And about 12 years ago, I sold the majority of the company and then the company in its entirety to Nassau Candy. Nassau Candy is the largest privately held manufacturer and distributor of confectionery food and gourmet food in the United States. And they're about a $500 million company. And together we've
Nice.
made a lot of different acquisitions along the way. We acquired Taylor and Grant, who is the largest food manufacturer in Canada. We've acquired a lot of smaller food companies. We've acquired Fresh Beginnings, which was a cookie manufacturer. And our largest acquisition was probably about 6 years ago, which was Lanco. Lanco was another top 20 supplier in this industry, just like us. We like the fact that they were a manufacturer, just like us. They're about 30 minutes away. And we felt that there was a void in the industry of coupling different hard goods like mugs and bags with different food items. So that was our largest acquisition to date. We also purchased a couple contract decorators a few years later. So right now we're the 20th largest supplier in the industry. We really run the gamut with our categories, food, hard goods, and apparel. And like I said, our real claim to fame is the fact that we're a manufacturer. We manufacture most of our items. We sell to most of our competitors in the industry. And we're much different than a vendor in this industry who just brings in different items from overseas and decorates on them in-house.
Yeah, that is awesome. And clearly you guys have figured out, no pun intended, but you've gotten your hand into the cookie jar a few different ways that makes it all come together. Um, I'm curious, what about food promo do you think is so powerful, and what makes it different than, just the tangible good like the mug or something like that? What makes the pairing of them or just the food promo such a impactful promotional product?
Well, it's very interesting. And typically, when PPAI and ASI come out with their data on a yearly basis, what they represent is that the spend for food in the promo channel is about 2%. And, I'm always very disappointed in that. And why am I disappointed? Because if you take a look at what the top B2B category is from a gift standpoint year round, it's food. So why the differentiation? Why the disparity between what we're seeing in this channel compared to the global data? And the disparity is that a lot of customers, distributor customers, are not understanding that their promo distributor can sell them a food gift
Mm,
or a holiday gift. And what do they end up doing? They end up going to a Hickory Farms or a Harry and David or a 100 Flowers. So they're missing out on a lot of opportunities because their client does not understand or realize that within that umbrella of their distributor's promo hat is also the opportunity to purchase food or
right.
holiday gifts. And they could purchase something much more advantageous on a number of levels. And time again, when I hear that a distributor's customer purchased from someone else, it's always the same answer. They didn't realize that they could get this
Mm.
from me. And that's why it's so important for the distributor to educate their customer if they can provide them with a food gift, not only because they can provide them with something that's very cost comparable, but also because they can provide them with a much more impactful product. And the reason for that is, look, when the end user, when the client is sending out a gift to their customers, they're not only saying thank you for past business, they're saying think of me next time an opportunity arises. And if you're not giving something memorable, if you're giving something just generic, like a very plain tower with no branding and just regular stock items, that's certainly not going to be memorable, and it's certainly not going to differentiate you from all the other people that are giving gifts.
Yeah, I really like what you're saying about that because you're right. End of year, you get all of the. I can think of back, pre-COVID being in an office, and you would start to see, I work in marketing, so marketing agencies would send through, oh, here's your edible arrangement basket, here's your cookie basket, but it kind of did fall into the sea of just all the other edible arrangement baskets that were piled up. If we would have had a cookie that would have had had a logo on it and had that, it would have been like, oh yeah, we remember that these are the guys that gave us these cookies, and it's better recall than just getting the generic food items that anybody could get.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, are there like any I know you mentioned you touched on gifting, but where are some areas that you really also see this food promo coming into play? Because I feel like food being universal, distributors can find ways to pitch it to their clients in a ton of areas that doesn't necessarily have to just stop at corporate gifting or things like that. What do you kind of see people ordering for?
Oh, certainly. Trade shows, different campaigns. In fact, our number one selling item are actually mints. We're the only mint manufacturer in the industry. We manufacture mints in all different shapes. It
Mm.
doesn't have to be a circular mint. It could be a house-shaped mint. It could be a car-shaped, it could be a truck-shaped mint. It could definitely be a shape that is specific to either the campaign or the customer's industry. Same thing with chocolate and same thing with being a manufacturer. I love the fact that we're a manufacturer because that allows us to really customize the product. And I'm a big fan of custom. I feel that, custom, not only can you add a higher margin to it if you're a distributor, it's also more challenging for your client to bid you out. We do different truffle flavors. We just made a mint that tasted like pastrami, not really my cup of tea, but, obviously the client loved it. So, I think that, food is a great item because it's things that, people don't already have. Everybody loves food. It's something that can be shared. And this is a little known fact. When you're eating a piece of candy, a piece of chocolate, your body actually reacts the same way you would react if you were in love. So also you get the person who's eating it, consuming it, they also start feeling a very pleasurable feeling, which is not the worst thing to happen if your
Yeah.
customer is feeling good while eating the gift or the product that you gave to them. But we use it in so many different ways. We have a
Mm.
lot of broad printing capabilities too, compostable bags, compostable boxes that we print all in house. We do a lot of bagging and a lot of printing on different foils and bags. So
Mhm.
I would say that our packaging really couples up very nicely with a lot of our food manufacturing.
Yeah, yeah, that makes total sense. Um, I like the idea of the shaped mints too. I would have never considered that you can make that part of it yeah, customizable too. Are there any specific types of products that you're seeing that people are really asking for lately, or outside like specific food items that you see people reaching for and wanting to order over and over?
We're always offering different types of new offerings. And right now, I would say that 7 months, 8 months out of the year, primarily our customers are looking for lower priced items. They're looking for, in some cases, non-melt, which we have a lot of different options to choose from. The minute we hit holiday, it's all about chocolate. It's all about, high price type of items. And,
Mhm.
being that we are a manufacturer, like I indicated, the distributors can find items that are very reasonably priced, given the fact that we're manufacturing in-house and are not just purchasing food items from a manufacturer and then reselling them.
Yeah, yeah. You touched on this also a little bit earlier, but you were saying, the number one here thing that you hear from people is distributors saying they just didn't realize that they could get this through this channel. Is there anything else for a distributor who maybe hasn't offered this to their clients before, hasn't considered it before? Is there anything else that you would want them to know when they're getting started and trying to pitch food promo?
Well, I'm going to tell you two things. I just wanted to add one more thing, and then I'm going to go
Of
into
course.
brief case history.
Yeah.
Because we're so well known in the food industry, we do have exclusivity with Godiva, Linked,
Mm.
Mrs. Fields. We're soon to announce an exclusive arrangement with Ghirardelli within the next couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
And very big for us is M&Ms. M&Ms, after 2 years in the making, we are an approved co-packer for them. So we are offering
Yeah.
right now M&Ms in different colors that you could purchase specific to either their campaign or the colors of your
Mm.
customer's logo. And that's been selling unbelievably well. So these exclusive arrangements, partnerships, where we are the only ones offering these different items in which the brand is decorated with the client's logo, gives that
Mhm.
extra added value to those items. And these are not items that the client can get in from these specific brands. Now I want to give you a little case history, which I thought was interesting. So we
Yes.
a specific distributor. We had a conversation with about a month ago. She works for one of the top 40 distributors. She has one customer. So she's on site at that customer's facility and she's interacting with them on a daily basis. And she's walking around about a month ago and she hears customers that she's had a relationship with for 20 years talking about that, they're needing to order from Harry and David again, and they've always had logistical issues and it's never been very impactful. And they never hear, back from their clients and they were really
Mm.
disappointed. And she says to them, you could get a food item from me. And they said, really? We didn't know that. And this is somebody who, like I said, has one customer. She interacts with them daily. And
Yeah.
she contacted us. And what we did was we put together some different items, all branded, and it ended up turning into a $500,000 order. And I mean, just to show you, obviously, not everyone's going to realize they have $1 million
Right.
order, but I'm just giving you an example of someone that's interacting on a very regular basis and their client didn't even know that they could get food from them. When the distributor's customer is thinking of the distributor, they're thinking of, different types of commodity items like,
Mhm.
lip balm or sanitizer or bags or pens or mugs. And a lot of times they just don't think of food. So they see a commercial come across for, 100 flowers, and all of a sudden they're making their holiday purchase through 100 flowers. So it's all about educating the customer. We have a lot of different marketing content that can be
Mm.
utilized to educate your customers. It's on our website. You can contact us directly, but we're here to support the distributor's efforts. And like I said, we think that there's more opportunity in food than in all the other categories that we offer into the marketplace.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. I'm sure the distributor was also very excited to see that they stumbled upon that large of an order.
Yes, I think they will.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that people who are listening to this podcast take away with them, understand either about food and promo, about your company in particular? I just want to open the floor up to you.
Yeah, I want everyone to know that, first of all, our staff is on site. our customer service staff. And I think that's important. They're in the same facility where the product is manufactured. And I think in this day and age, you have so much of a remote customer service workforce. And I think that's challenging because I think that, having the customer service person on site, they're able to interact directly with operations or the art department or whatever's needed. Because quite frankly, not everyone answers emails right away. Not everyone answers their phone right away. But if you're on site, you can always walk over to the art department and find out what's going on. And I think that's important because, look, the bottom line is a lot of these distributors are engaging with the same suppliers that their competitors are. So how do you set yourself apart? And I think service is a big differentiator. And we certainly don't want to be the impediment in you providing your customer with either a timely quote or a timely answer. So that's why we're very proud of the fact that we have people working on site within the same facility that again, we're a manufacturer. I think manufacturing is very important. This allows us to provide the service, the quality, the oversight, and the pricing that allows the distributor to compete directly with any type of retail or direct B2B organizations. So I think that's very important as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again, David, for joining me today for the podcast. I will say it's made me a little hungrier today.
Well,
I've also,
Nicole, you are going to have to email me your address and I will have to send you some sweets.
oh, you know what? I won't say no to that. I got to taste some of your product at a trade show and it was delicious. And it's what got you on the podcast today. It was fantastic. Which I will, you know what? I want to make that note to say too that I feel like there could be a misconception of, oh, if the food is coming from the promo side, then it can't be good. Not the case. I am here to say that food itself is also delicious. So it didn't just look good. The taste was incredible. I think about that little chocolate graham cracker cookie all the time. Delicious. Well, thank you again for joining our podcast today. And for everybody who's listening, again, consider NC Custom whenever you guys are looking at your food promo. Their products are within Sage. And we will talk to you guys next time.
Very good. Thanks again, Nicole. I appreciate the opportunity and the pleasure of speaking with you.
Of course, likewise. See you later.